Good evening, welcome to the February 25th meeting of the Lowell License Commission. Secretary Nguyen, was the meeting posted?
Yes.
Number one on the agenda.
Minutes for our meeting of February the 11th, 2016.
Commissioner Krieger.
I move adoption of the minutes with the addition of one S after the word room that says two room. Should say two rooms. This is for 46 Andover Street.
If he doesn't find one thing, Ryan, he gets very upset, so we have to make sure, all right?
You put that in on purpose, didn't you?
Motion to amend by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I think he does put it in just to see if I'm paying attention.
That works.
Commission will now take up applications for special one-day licenses to sell dispense malt beverages and wine only, for either one, Joseph Bew of the Heinz Tavern, a parking lot of Heinz's Tavern at 465, 467 Gorham Street, the Heinz's Road Race for Sunday, March 13, 2016, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. In conjunction with the outdoor beer concession, there is a special events permit applied for amplification of sound for the recorded music loudspeaker system from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Also, Marta Rodriguez of the Portuguese American Youth Center for the malt beverage and wine only license for 739 Central Street, the Night de Cantoria for Saturday, February 27, 2016, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Gabby Davis at Mill Number 5, 250 Jackson Street, 4th floor, for Beards and Brews for Saturday, March 19, 2016, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Good evening. State your names for the record, all of you, please.
Gabby Davis with Maiden Law.
How are you, Gabby?
Doing well.
Martha Rodriguez.
Marta?
Joe Buell, Heinz Tavern.
Mr. Bew, how are you? Heinz's, how many years now?
15.
15? Really? Congratulations on that. Gabby, tell me about your event.
This is our second time doing Beards and Brews. This year we have grown the event to include 17 breweries. It'll be in Mill Number 5 in the hallway and 3 of the rooms located. I did provide a highlighted handout with the Mill Number 5 hallway. We will have event staff on site to control and make sure that no one goes off premise with the samples, and no one goes into Luna Theater, into Coffee and Cotton, and any other areas that are off limits. They will be controlled and maintained into those hallways and those 3 rooms. Sample sizes will be 1.5 ounces. There will be 20 sample tickets. Ticket prices are $28.
Okay.
Any other questions?
How many people do you anticipate?
Absolutely. We are expecting 400 to 450 people.
Okay, thank you. Marta, can you tell us about your event?
Noit's Cantoria is a night where we're going to have dinner, family style, and then we have 2 artists singing. I guess the best way to explain it would be, it's almost like they're rapping, but Portuguese, and they diss each other. So it's a night of entertainment and laughs, but in singing. That's the only way I know how to explain it.
Are you going to invite Commissioner Krieger to this event?
If you'd like to come, you're more than welcome.
Fantastic.
Door opens at
He is an
6.
excellent rapper.
In Portuguese, though, that's the only
Yeah.
Believe me, he can do it.
thing. Okay.
All right.
Portuguese, isn't it Spanish pronounced with a Russian accent?
Maybe.
It's going to get us in trouble
I was
here.
just going to say.
Questions, comments from the board?
Move approval.
Move for approval by Commissioner Hogan, second by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Good luck.
Gwen, good luck.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Number 3 on our agenda is for the License Commission ratification, a special one-day license issued on February the 11th, 2016, for a malt beverages and wine only, or either one, to Orlando Borber for an event at the Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street, anniversary party that was Saturday, February 13th, 2016, from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, this was a last time one-day license for the Holy Ghost Park. They now have an all-alcoholic club license for the premises.
Motion by Commissioner McGovern, seconded by Commissioner Hogan, ratify the license for that day. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Number 4 on the meeting agenda is an application by the Merrimack Repertory Theater. Jill Meredith Mincy is representative, the contact person for the charity wine pouring license. That's for an event at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, Hall of Flags, and the Concourse on May 16, 2016, 50 East Merrimack Street.
State your name for the record, please.
Jill Meredith Vinci from Merrimack Repertory Theater.
How are you tonight, Jill?
Doing well.
Good. You've held these licenses before yourself?
I did in the fall for our wine and beer tasting event.
Okay, tell us about your event.
It's our annual fundraiser. It's a live and silent auction. It's called Set the Stage Celebration. We're expecting about 340 people.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Questions, comments from the board?
Second.
Move for approval by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner McGovern. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Jill?
Thank
Good luck with
you.
it.
Mr. Chairman, if I just may introduce one aspect to that application needs to be revised, and that's to do with the certificate of solicitation that's issued by the Attorney General's office. If I'm speaking with Jill before our scheduled meeting tonight, it's my understanding that the Merrimack Repertory Theater's Director of Finance has filed the proper paperwork and just awaiting the update on that certificate.
Yep.
And so if I may, for the sake of since this application does require the approval of the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission, to hold back on sending the papers into the ABC until that certificate has been
That's fine. Yep.
updated.
Yep, let's do that. The event isn't until May anyway, so why don't we do that? Shouldn't
Okay.
have any problem. We'll wait to hear
Great.
from the Attorney General. All right?
And the reason that it has to go to the ABCC is it's public property or,
Certificate of solicitation.
oh,
It ended. That's why they just needed updated.
oh, okay.
We're waiting on it.
You're good. You're all set.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right.
Number 5 on our meeting agenda, a public hearing on the application for the transfer of the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license from Resendez Incorporated, doing business as Red Line Pub and Grill, John Resendez, President, to a sole proprietor, Renee M. Wolterding, doing business as the Mill City Barbecue and Brew, for premises at 1018 Gorham Street, one unnumbered door on Gorham Street, unnumbered door on north side, and unnumbered door at south side of the building. This first floor, one room for lounge, cellar for storage. The outdoor area, east side is 50 feet by 45 feet, and a deck of 26 feet by 8 feet. Renee M. Wolterding has applied for a common vittler's license, entertainment in a licensed restaurant for live music, disc jockey, and jukebox, and for license for automatic amusement device. Legal notice had been published in the Lowell Sun newspaper on February 12, 2016.
Thank you. State your name for the record, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Salim Tabit. I'm an attorney in Methuen, Massachusetts, with an office in Methuen, and I represent Ms. Renee Walterding, who's before you pursuant to the application that's been filed. I'm sure that this commission is familiar with the location that we're talking about here. My understanding is Red Line has, for the most part, been a bar historically, or at least the past several years. What Ms. Walterding is looking to do at that location, pursuant to this transfer of the license, is really to make it more of a restaurant. I don't know if this commission is aware, but since the asset purchase agreement was filed and the lease, which is all part of the documentation presented, she's been working with the building inspector, building department here in Lowell to make some renovations within the location itself. Namely, although it won't change the square footage at all of the location, she's really put in essentially a new kitchen. What she's looking to do there is a barbecue joint, and she's in the process of altering the kitchen now with all the appropriate permits. Also, it's her intention to be open I think 2 hours later than what was previously at that location. I think they served until 2 o'clock, because I think that that's what the city allows for, but the intention here is to close at midnight, as it's primarily going to be a restaurant. Ms. Walterding does have a history in the food industry. She's originally from the Merrimack Valley, grew up here in Lowell. She's back here now, but did spend some time in North Carolina, where she ran the Taste of New York, which is a New York-style deli. She also has a history of managing liquor licenses without any issues. She was the manager of a license for a period of time in a location in Lawrence, and never had any problems. Also, just so this commission is aware, she's already contracted with a waste management company. There's a dumpster there. They're going to come 2 days a week. So the intention really is to move this into more of a restaurant, but certainly the alcohol license is important to that as anything else.
Thank you very much. Well, that's a breath of fresh air, to tell you the truth. It really is. In reading the application, so we've bought the business. The building itself is still with Mr. Resendez, is that correct?
Yes.
It is.
And there's a lease, I think, that's part of the package that's been submitted.
10-year lease?
I believe so,
Yep.
yes.
And she is the only person involved in this venture?
She is. It's a sole proprietorship. She has not, at this point, formed an LLC or corporation, though that may occur down the road, and she knows her obligation to come back before this board and the ABCC if that were to happen. But right now, she's the only person involved. Her financials, I believe, are in order to show where the money's coming from. It's strictly her, and she'll be a sole proprietor there.
So we're looking for a license till 12 o'clock, or are you looking for something further than that?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
12?
12 o'clock,
Yes.
yes, sir.
Mrs. Walterding, why don't you tell us about yourself? I know your counsel has told you, but we'd like to hear from you.
I am originally from Lowell, Massachusetts. I left here about 20 years ago. Since then, I've ran a couple of restaurants of my own, Taste of New York, Natural Juices, and more. Barbecue is a big thing in the South, and my family's from here. We've been here all our lives. And every time I come here for the past 10 years, I say the same thing. Where's the barbecue? Where's the barbecue? So I told my parents if I ever got an opportunity to sell the business I was in, I would move forward here and try to start something that we don't have and have not had in a long time. So basically, that's what I'm looking to do.
I think it's a great idea.
Me too. I like barbecue.
I think it's a great idea. That area of the city.
And I've mastered a lot of the barbecuing in the South, so I'm doing really authentic smoke, barbecue ribs, barbecue chicken, pulled pork, beef brisket, beans, coleslaw, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and cornbread.
Very
Fresh
low fat stuff, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
I just wanted to reconfirm, coleslaw?
Coleslaw, homemade.
Oh, man.
Excellent.
When
Okay.
are you looking to open?
In the next month, I've been doing some extensive renovation, and we're doing the hood Monday. And then after that, I'm ready when you guys say I'm ready.
That's great. All right, what we're going to do right now, we're going to open up the public hearing, okay? At this time, we're going to open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. Questions, comments from the board? Secretary Nguyen?
Yes, just as a point of clarification on the 12 midnight closing, is that the request of the applicant to legal closing time at 12 midnight?
I mean, that was pretty much what I want to make sure we're on the same page here. Are you looking for basically a 12 o'clock license, therefore 11:30 last call, or are you looking for a 1 o'clock, or with a 12:30?
Mr.
Well, let
Commissioner,
me
if I-
just
and I
add to
might-
that, if I may, just one point. The license that's presently held by Resendez Incorporated is a 2 a.m. legal closing time.
Correct.
And the license fee had been paid, which is a maximum license fee of $2,750. So this particular application is a transfer of license, of that license. So if the applicant was looking to have a legal closing time of 12 midnight in the first of the year, that fee would have been reduced by $1,000. But where the license has already been issued, and I just want to make sure that if at the end of the calendar year 2016, in renewing the license and chooses to go for the 12 midnight legal closing time, then the licensee can expect to pay a fee of $1,500.
Mr. Commissioner, if I may.
Sure.
And perhaps I'm mistaken about this, but I think that under Mass General laws, once the time has been set for these liquor licenses, I'm not sure that they can necessarily be altered on the liquor license end of it individually. I could be wrong about that, but our intent in telling you wasn't so much to alter the license, because I don't want to make anything, confuse anything, but just to let this commission know what the intent was with
Okay.
respect to the,
So we're not looking to change the liquor license
No,
per
but
se
it's
to
gonna
2
be
o'clock,
closed
but your plan is to close at 12 o'clock. I understand. Okay, that's fine. But you understand what Secretary Wynn said at the end of this year, you'll be able to apply for a lesser amount at that time. All right, great. Commissioners, comments?
Move approval?
Second.
Move approval by Commissioner Hogan, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. I want to wish you the best of luck in the city of Lowell. This is something I think, especially in that area, I think it's going to be a great asset.
Yeah, I'll make you guys proud.
All right.
thank you, commissioners. Have a good evening.
Good luck.
Have a good night.
This is good.
Commission will now proceed with number 6 on our meeting agenda, a public hearing on the application filed by Gary Tipico, Inc., Gary D. Los Santos, President, for an all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license for premises at 26 Andover Street, a one-story building, first and basement floors to be licensed. The first is a two rooms including kitchen, 1 entrance, 3 exits, approximately 2,466 square feet. The basement is 1 room, 1 entrance, 2 exits, approximately 2,340 square feet. The access to an outdoor deck, which will be approximately 1,432 square feet. It is requested that Bantroy de Los Santos be approved as the manager of record for Gary's Tipico, Inc., and Gary Tipico, Inc. has applied for a license for common vittler for the premises at 26 Andover Street. A legal notice had been published in the Lowell Sun newspaper on February the 12th, 2016, and an applicant was to send notice to abutters of the public hearing in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 15A.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm attorney Michael McCardle from Lawrence, Massachusetts.
I am Gary De Los Santos from Methuen.
I'm Bantroy de Los Santos.
Good evening, gentlemen. Counselor,
evening.
floor is yours. Floor is yours, Counselor.
Okay, thank you. As you know, this applies to the currently vacant 26 Andover Street premises, which has in the past been used as a combination restaurant and bar, full service. And my client, Gary De Los Santos, is an experienced and accomplished restaurateur and manager with experience in Lawrence, and his restaurant also is Rancho Tipico, which just is around the corner. That's his premises as well, and that will be the type of fare that will probably be utilized for the most part in the new restaurant. The restaurant has a downstairs area which will be largely used for both food and entertainment, and a deck area that is being rehabbed that will be used to service food on the riverside of the premises. And my client and this is his brother, who will hopefully become the manager, have a lot of plans for improving that site. There is plenty of parking to accommodate patrons, and we're hoping that you give us a favorable review, and we're here to answer any questions that you might have in regard to either the experience and background of my clients or their plans for the premises. We're seeking a all-alcoholic beverage license and a common victualer's license. Inadvertently, we didn't submit the entertainment license, which will be a part of what they plan on doing there, so we will submit that under a separate application, assuming, you give us the approval to go forward on the two licenses that are before you. They don't plan on using any amusement devices, so that kind of license won't be an issue here.
Okay. So basically, just, the purchase price is just basically for the inventory. Nothing else was paid for the business? I'm looking at the costs associated with the transaction.
The business is operated under a lease, although they're negotiating with respect to a possible purchase of the property. I know Mr. DeSantos is interested in that, and so is the owner. But currently, the lease is in full force and effect. It's been paid for since I think we negotiated that as of August, and that's in place. So all we're waiting for is the go-ahead to start dressing up the premises. I mean, a lot of work has been done. Equipment is pretty much in place, and so the work itself is mostly surface work, not a lot of heavy renovations, except for that deck area. If you went by there today, and I went by there tonight, you can see the work that's going on out there. The landlord is aware that there's building code issues, and he's addressing those, and the deck should and will be ready at the end of the spring, and when the weather is nice and it can be utilized.
Okay. Mr. De Los Santos, tell us about what you envision over there.
Well, there's a large, we work in Lawrence, there's a large Spanish community. We also have a restaurant here in Salem Street. We have Spanish food. We have the best rotisserie chicken in town, around the area. We had the opportunity to find this place, which it was a restaurant before. Everything is preset, and there's not a place like that here in Lowell. And we are looking forward to make this place like a family place, and people will have to leave Lowell to go eat someplace else, which it happens. We have a restaurant here, but it's small. It's only a capacity of 4 tables. So we are looking forward to have this place and accommodate it for the community to have and try Caribbean food and what we can serve to make them feel like home.
Okay. Seems quite a bit of the area there, so is it basically you're looking to just do a restaurant, basically? No future entertainment type of thing? It looks like there could be enough
It's
room
restaurant, when entertainment, we could have, like in the bar area, we could have the games, like all type of sports, they could go, have a dinner, have a drink, watch the game, things like that. No, nothing big. Maybe we can have a night, a jazz night or something like that, or a piano bar.
Yep.
Things like that, but,
Okay. Questions, comments from the board?
I have 2 questions. You said Corinthian food?
Caribbean. I mean,
Caribbean food?
yeah, so we're from an island, Dominican Republic.
Okay, you gonna bring
Yeah.
a steel band eventually?
Excuse me?
A steel band?
Steel band?
Yeah.
A steel band, Caribbean music.
Oh, yes, yes.
I guess
live, yes.
steel bands went out when I was 25 or something. How many cars can you put in the parking lot? That doesn't look like a
Parking
big
lot?
lot to me.
There's available about 21 parking space there. 20 to
Tell them
20.
about the parking across the way.
And also, across the street, there's another parking space area, which is, it's owned by the owner of the building, and he said that we could also use that place. So you could fit about 12 to 14 cars right across the street. So we looking like for maybe like 34 parking spaces in total.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that you're looking at the larger picture. Thank you.
Thank you.
How many tables we talking?
Well, in the upstairs,
Yeah.
we're talking about like 14 tables
Yep.
upstairs, and then downstairs about 8 tables.
Okay. Further comments?
It'd be nice to see that deck back.
That's a big seller, especially, in the spring and summer, that deck. Have you been working with the city concerning the,
Yes, they actually were waiting for the cold weather to go
yep,
so they could start working on that. They should be, he told me that now and in the next month, everything is gonna be all set.
okay.
They already started taking pieces out and everything.
All right, I think we have to open up a public hearing, is that correct? Okay, at this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. The wish of the body.
I'd like to ask, before we vote, Mr. Bentroy de los Santos to talk about his experience in in this business, because you're going to be the manager of record, is that correct, sir?
His language is
It's fine.
But he's actually my brother.
Yeah.
He works with me. I'm also gonna be there. We're gonna be working together. But he been in the restaurant business for almost 7 years with me also.
It'd be good to get that building open and have some business around there. I know Mr. Krieger visited there when it was prior business, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
With the understanding that the deck has to be approved, I would move approval.
Second.
He has-
Move for approval by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. De Los Santos, I want to wish you the best of luck. This board wishes you the best of luck. We hope your business is a success.
Thank you very much. I hope I can see you guys all there too.
We'll be there. We'll be there. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That would be another good addition.
Two good ones tonight.
Yeah.
Commission now proceed with our last item on the meeting agenda, public hearing on the application filed by Navigation Brewing Company, Inc., Robert A. Johnson, President, a farmer brewery licensee at 122 Western Avenue, Lowell, for a Farmers Series pouring permit for premises at 122 Western Avenue. It is requested that Robert A. Johnson be approved as manager of record for Navigation Brewing Company, Inc., a legal notice published in the Lowell Sun newspaper on February 12, 2016. And the applicant was to send notice to abutters of the public hearing in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 19C.
State your name for the record.
It's PJ Mercia, Tingsboro, Massachusetts. Sorry, I apologize, Bob is not here this evening. He's actually at the brewery brewing. Thursday evenings are the days we brew. This is a part-time venture for us. And there was a little bit of confusion, I guess, with the manager of record. The manager of record that we have voted on early on was to be part of the farmer's brewer's license that we have. We then did a corporate vote to make me in charge of the government affairs, and I kind of assumed that that was what was going to put us forward on this. So again, Bob is not here to talk on behalf. I can answer any and all questions you have. I am a co-owner and co-founder of the company, and I actually run the brew house itself, other than the brewing of the beer. Bob does the bookworking.
I guess my question, PJ, is who's going to be the manager of record?
Well, I am actually on the lease. Bob is the manager of record through the state license. It's a 50-50 venture for us.
Right.
So we're both responsible for what goes on there.
Do you understand the process there, though, of what the ABCC is going to
I
do?
understand it. I understand it. Well, I understand what this process of the ABCC is. I did not understand the processes through the city of Lowell.
Okay.
So, and that
Commissioner
was.
Krieger?
Yes. So, you have a license for the brewery, right?
Correct. We have a federal license for it's called the Brewer's Notice, and then
And Mr. Johnson, Robert A., is on that license.
we are both on that license. He's the manager of record for the bookkeeping. What happens is with the state licenses, they require that for bookkeeping purposes. So if they have to get a hold of somebody,
All right, so you're coming before us for permission to sell, and the question is, who should be the manager of record for what you're going to be doing at 122 Western Avenue? Should that be your brother, Robert A., or should that be you?
yeah, it's actually my father-in-law, but yes, it's actually both of us are responsible for it. It's, like I said, it's,
But we have to have one name,
all right.
one person.
Well, I guess my question would be, if we were to change that, does we have to go through the entire process again of the public hearing, changing everything, notifying the abutters?
Not really for manager.
Well, if I may just
Yes,
offer
please.
some insight on the matter. First and foremost, just to, Navigation Brewing Company, Inc. was granted a farmer brewery license from the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission. And this is a new state law, relatively new state law, that allows the Massachusetts-based businesses like Navigation Brewing to prepare and produce beer, essentially, or ale, be whatever that may entail.
Malt beverages.
So that is one license that the state grants, but in conjunction with that license, the legislature, in working with the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission, allows that type of license to sell a 12-ounce glass of beer to people who go to that brewery's premises. They have like a tap room or a place where the public is welcome. The public can buy a 64-ounce growler if they wish, or a 32 quart-sized container of that beer, and take it home with them for home consumption, off-premise consumption. This particular pouring permit is granted by the local licensing board. And like any local license, it requires an individual to be responsible for the sale and service of that alcohol on the premises. And so the distinction is that where Mr. Johnson may be the manager of the state license, but there is a separate license that's being applied for tonight, which is the License Commission's purview to grant, subject to the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission approval. So, since it is a public hearing and you would want to open it up to public comment, it also is possible that the commission may want to continue the hearing if they wish to amend their application to propose a new manager of record, is because that was what was being advertised and being suggested by the initial application, was that Robert Johnson would be the manager of record for this pouring permit.
That's what I'm trying to get at here is, since a public hearing is scheduled for tonight with Robert Johnson, I mean, we can't just change a name and have Mr. Mercier step in here, or can we?
Yeah,
The proper-
why not?
Can I just add
Seems to
something?
make-
I-
no,
I-
just
let
wait
me-
a second.
if I
Let
could-
us fight this out.
The problem is that when Mr. Mercier came to speak to me about his application to begin with, he had already had it in his mind that he had the state license and that Robert Johnson was the manager, and that they had already gone through the process of getting the estate's approval. But what I don't think Mr. Mercier fully appreciated was that the License Commission, like granting a license to Gary's Typico, you're granting a restaurant license for alcohol beverages, and in that instance, you have a person who has to be responsible for the sale and service of that alcohol on the premises. The distinction between the prior application was that there's no application here for common vittler's license for a restaurant. It's strictly a pouring license. In place of offering a 1-ounce sampling of the product, they can tell you a 12-ounce glass of the product. They need the License Commission's approval on that.
Right, I agree with that. They need our approval. But the essence of the case has been put out with mailings and all of that. We found a technicality. I would like to see the technicality updated with a new manager of record,
Well, the
voted and move on.
Well, the technicality
meeting.
is that Mr. Mercier wants to be the manager of record and not Mr. Johnson.
Fine, I'd
So-
like that too. But I don't see that we have to re-advertise this whole thing.
I wouldn't suggest that myself.
So I move that public meeting having been done, that we request Mr. Mercier to resubmit the manager of record for us to examine at the next meeting, where it's likely we'll approve it.
Mr. Mercier,
Nancy, would you like me
have something
to
to add?
say that again?
Did you have something to add?
I just wanted to state that again, I'm actually the one listed on the lease too, so that Robert's not even part of the lease as well.
Doesn't
so.
matter.
I didn't know if that had anything to
No.
do with it, so, that's why, sorry, again, it is confusing.
Understandable. I mean, basically, we didn't want you to come back in another 2 weeks, but I think you have to come back if you
Yeah.
want your name as the manager of record, and it's a public hearing.
Correct.
So legally,
You know what, I can take that, I mean, again, this is a part-time thing for us, and.
Understand.
Yeah.
We're not trying to give you a hard
yeah.
time, we just want to
No,
make sure
I
it's
get
done
it.
right.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
I would make a motion, Commissioner Krieger make a motion that we reschedule the public hearing for our next meeting on March 10th. Second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Mercier, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We shouldn't have a
Okay.
problem.
And just bring down just a new corporate vote, making
You
me,
have to, if you wish, you need to file a vote.
yes,
Right.
A vote.
yeah.
Not the dated vote from 2 years ago.
No, it'd have to be a whole new one, yeah.
A
I'm
current
gonna go have
vote
a
that
meeting right now
shows
with them, so.
You will be the manager of record for this particular application. Okay?
Yes,
That's important.
okay.
All set? Any questions?
you.
You all good?
I'll see you guys,
2 weeks from tonight.
2 weeks.
You got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Any further business with the board?
Move adjournment.
Move for adjournment by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Everyone have a good night.
So are the little kiddies back to school?
Yeah.
That sounded sincere.
Nobody had their mic on, right? You did.